This is Pastor Dan, and this is take 2. Yes, because I did the whole last video without the mic turned on. Oh well, it happens. It's good to be with you today. This is my Friday devotional, and I'm here at the bridge by myself. Now, I wasn't by myself earlier. There's a ladies' Bible study going on, and Becky Armstead is our Friday helper, just like Becky Brown's here on Tuesday, and Vicky's here on Wednesday, and Susan's here on Thursday. And yesterday we had a great senior seminar. Bill Burrows did a great job talking about options when we get to places where we need some senior care, whether it's a skilled nursing facility or other kind of home care environment, helper care environment. We're going to have another one of those seminars coming up. Anyway, well, today happens to be St. Patrick's Day. And if you happen to be Irish, congratulations, you have a wonderful example of Christian living in St. Patrick. He is a giant in the faith. Now, you might not know exactly who he is. So he was actually not Irish. He was actually British. He was from England, and he had parents that were Christians, but he himself was abducted by slave traders who carried him to Ireland. And he was there for 6 years before he escaped. And when he escaped, he went back to England, where God spoke to him about going as a missionary. And God did this work in his heart and sent him back to Ireland, where he evangelized the country of Ireland. And there were thousands of people who came to know Jesus because of St. Patrick. And although he may not have been the one who inspired the 4-leaf clover or 3-leaf clover, but it was attributed to him, he did do missions. And he took seriously the call of God to be a missionary, which was someone who took the gospel of Jesus to people around the world, to every nation. So here on St. Patrick's Day, we are opening the scriptures to Isaiah 50, which is going to be our text for this coming Sunday. And we've been studying about how God brought Israel to a place of humility because she ignored God for so long. And he moved her into exile into Babylon, and how God was going to bring her back to Israel eventually. But there's always this challenge of suffering in our journey. We also have this challenge of personal dependence, where either we can be dependent on God in our suffering or our journey, or we can be independent of God. And independent of God always brings its own challenges. It looks okay in the beginning, but it neglects this one very important part of our spiritual being that was made by God for God. So here in Isaiah 50, we see this interesting text in verse 10 and 11. You can open your Bible if you want to read it, but I'll read it out of mine. The prophet Isaiah says to the children of Israel and to us, "Who among you fears the Lord?" To fear the Lord is to have a reverence for who he is, for including him in various parts of our day or our journey. To say, I believe he's there, and so I'm going to count him in as a factor in my life. That's how we fear the Lord. Who among you fears the Lord and obeys the word of his servant? That means we have to be willing to listen to what he says and do what he asks. Let him who walks in the dark, who has no light, trust in the name of the Lord and rely on his God. Now, when he says, let him who walks in the dark, who has no light, he's not saying those who take walks at night. He's using this as a symbol of places and areas of our lives where we don't know what to do next. We're not sure what the right answer is. We're not sure how to proceed, what the next step is. That's like walking in the dark because you can't see the future. You can only see right here, right now, and you might not even be able to see that very clearly. But he gives us two options. We can trust in the name of the Lord and rely on his God, which is what I try to do. What we try to do in our church family is to encourage each other to trust God when we can't see what the future is going to hold. To trust him when we don't know what the next thing is. Like when Marcia totaled her car last Thursday. We don't really know what the answer is for that. We know we have to get a new one, but it left us wondering what's next. And God knows what we need. But the other option is we don't trust God. And verse 11 says, "But now all you who light fires, provide yourselves with flaming torches, go walk in the light of your fires and of the torches you have set ablaze. This is what you shall receive from my hand. You will lie down in torment. Now, that sounds kind of terrible, that if we walk in the light of our own lights, or the lights we create by ourselves without God, that we'll lie down in torment. But that's the truth, that eventually all of our ideas take us to a place where we're independent of God, and that's not what we're made for. God's desire is that we would all know him, and that we would figure out how his love for us is shown in Jesus. And that's what we're walking toward as we're walking here into April, as we move toward Resurrection Sunday. Well, I need to wrap this up. This theme is either trust God or trust in myself. What I found in my life is trusting God brings me to the better things. And even if the journey is challenging, that God is with me, and that makes the journey better. I trust it will encourage you. Take some time and read Isaiah 50 as we get ready for Sunday, and we'll see you at 10:30 on Sunday. This is Pastor Dan with First Alliance Church. First Alliance Church is a great place to be. God bless.